Hi, guys. Welcome back to another new episode of ENT News. I'm your host, Jake Babich. And today we have a really cool episode for you guys today. Today we'll be taking a look at my father's restaurant, the Clinton Restaurant in Whitestone, Queens. One of my favorite places ever. I'm very excited. But before we go into a conversation I had with my father, let's go ahead and play a video for you guys. It's a cozy establishment. So let's go on ahead and check out the conversation I had with my father. So Dad, tell us a little bit about the Clinton. I know all about it from years of hearing about it, but the people don't know. So give us like a little rundown of the history and how it started and all that good stuff.
Oh, the history, I guess you would characterize it as like a neighborhood Italian restaurant. My grandfather bought the property in 1939, and he had it for a while, and it was mostly like a saloon, a bar. And they had like odd sandwiches and things like that. And my grandmother worked at the same time with him, and she did all the cooking. And my father came into it around 1950, maybe mid 50s, and he had experience in like many restaurants in Manhattan as a busboy, waiter, and cook. And he came into it, and he kind of like borrowed from him and put together a menu, more or less evolved the menu, I would say. And yeah, so he pretty much created everything. And I kind of grew up here, me and my siblings, and had my first jobs here as a bar back, a bartender, cook. I started with it full time in '89 when I was about 24, 23. And he was moving into like semi-retirement. So yeah, at that point, it was where it was. And we kind of refurbished the interior of it. And actually at that point, we didn't even have a sign out front. It just had a sign that said Coca-Cola Bar and Grill. And I remember saying to my father, like, what do you want to call this place? Everybody calls it the Clintonville, because it's located on Clintonville Street in Whitestone. And from there, we worked for a number of years, and he passed away like 20 years ago. And my brother is in with me now as a partner. And Jake's worked there. His siblings have worked there. My nieces and my nephews. It's a family business in the most defining sense. And here we are.
Yeah, that's good times working there for sure. So you actually went over how we got the name. I actually didn't even know that the people would call it the Clinton. Is it just, did they name it after the Clintonville, or is there someone in particular?
It's on Clintonville Street, which is named after DeWitt Clinton, one of the founding fathers of the Revolution, signer of Declaration of Independence. So people would call us the Clinton, the Clintonville, the No Name Restaurant. It was, the outside was pink, so they'd call us the Pink House. It was actually a store that said "No Dogs Allowed," which I guess you had to say that in those days, so they called it the No Dogs Place. So it was like we had plenty of business, but people just had their own names for it. So at that point, we had to come up with a name and a sign. So that was a defining factor of the restaurant.
Nice. So you've been eating there since you were born, obviously. And I've actually never asked you this.
Yeah, I am.
I've actually never asked you this in my 22 years, but like what's your favorite there? Like, what do you push? Like, what's your favorite to eat?
I get this question all the time. It's so difficult to answer. my replies are usually like, "What do you like?" But we have like good seafood dishes. People like us for that. Your basic Italian dishes. The seafood fra diavolo, fried calamari. We actually do have like king crab legs, which is popular, which is not too common these days. We have great steaks, which I'd have to say now, probably steak or a burger. We have great burgers too, which we didn't always have. Maybe only in the last 5 years we introduced burgers. Pizza, can't beat it. I think we're like famous for our pizza. If not, we should be more famous for our pizza. And yeah, that pretty much cuts it. Well, we have a lot of veal dishes, which is not so popular anymore. But if anyone, still has the taste for veal, we pretty much have a couple of dishes with that. The biggest standby, which is probably our most popular dish, is chicken parmesan.
I fully agree.
Jake's
Chicken parm.
Jake's eaten about 1,000 a year for this whole
Yeah, I totally have since I discovered it. But going on to our next question is, about the pandemic, obviously, and which sucks. But how have you guys, gotten through it, and like, what's the process been like, and what's it been like for you personally to run a restaurant through all this?
Well, it's been wonderful. No, I mean, all seriousness, it's been very difficult. Devastating, really. The very beginning, when we didn't know what was going on, and they closed us down, and then we just had takeout. We had a skeleton crew. It was very tough, and I actually was doing most of the deliveries myself because a lot of people didn't even want to come in to pick up. So the first couple of months, it was very kind of touch and go, and it was difficult because we had to, lay off like 90% of our staff, which have been with us for many years. So it was difficult in that way, and we still, but we've kind of rolled with the punches through it. We have a very limited menu because we try to keep the dishes fresh. So we've had to cut out a lot of our menu. Even that's a challenge. And today, there's people are coming out more, maybe in the past few weeks, and New York City's opening up a little bit, but I do feel there's a lot of people that are still afraid to come out. And takeouts are still, more popular, and yeah, I mean, we're getting through it. Hopefully this summer, I'm expecting things to be, more normal hopefully by July, August.
I think it'll get there for sure. Which brings us to our next question, which is more on the lighthearted side.
Good.
Like I remember you telling me at a very young age, that you really like to prep the sauces. Like, it's your thing. You're very good at it. And aside from the sauces, there's a lot more you have to prep. So tell us, how long do you think prep usually takes you on average?
It depends. I mean, before the pandemic, it was every day, 4 or 5 hours a day. Making sauces maybe 3 or 4 days out of the week. And, we had other dishes to prepare, like lasagna and stuffed shells and, other little specials that we would do. But yeah, I always enjoyed that. I always enjoyed the prep work more than I was always more of a kitchen guy than a front man. Jake was always a front man.
Yeah, I mean, look at me. I'm doing this.
Better on the floor. Yeah. I was always behind the scenes. That's kind of where I enjoy it. But yeah, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. We usually start early, like 7 a.m., sometimes earlier, depending on what we need to do. It's a good piece of the work. It's a good piece of the job.
Yeah, I actually remember as a kid you giving me the big lasagna noodle to munch on. I don't know if you remember that, but I remember you used to give me that.
And you used to like to make pizzas. I used to give you the dough and the flour, and you used to pound it out. You used to pound it out on the marble pizza table.
Yeah, it's good memories, man. And not every kid can have fun with a soda gun like I did. So I'm very grateful for that. Which brings us to our last and final question, sadly. where do you see the Clinton in the future? Through the next generation.
I don't know. That's kind of up in the air, unless Jake takes it over. But I don't know. But for me, I've been doing it over 32 years now. So
Wow.
Yeah, hopefully, we still have a spot in the community. We still, have very good business. So.
Yeah, I mean, again, we go to the local grocery stores, and you're a celebrity. You're a local celebrity. So, yeah, Dad, thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate it.
You're very welcome, boy.
Of course. Thank you. Love you too, Dad. What a beautiful conversation. Well, that's your episode for today, folks. I'm your host, Jake Babich. Please don't forget to subscribe to our TikTok, Twitch, and YouTube for all that great content. And tune in next week for a very special episode where all three of the hosts are about to be on it. It's going to be a good time. I'm your host, Jake Babich, signing off. Thank you.